on April the 16th, 2024. I've been advised that the mayor will not be with us today. He's on his way to Springfield for the IAW. Thank you. I'm sorry. I was just informed not too long ago that the mayor will not be with us, so therefore, trustees, you were not given advance notification, but I have called the meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. on April the 16th, and the order of business at this point is, trustees, you need to select a mayor pro tem. Please bear with me because I'm trying to take minutes as well as, conduct this portion of the meeting. Are there any other options for Mayor Pro Tem other than that was recommended by Trustee Williams, which is Trustee Cole? If there's complete readiness with that, then I ask by common consent, can we appoint Trustee Coleman to serve as Mayor Pro Tem this evening? I need a response. Okay, we have one no, I have 3 yes. Okay, we have a quorum. You may sit here. I'm going to ask that you share this mic because the mayor's lavalier does not have cover on.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Board of Trustees, residents, I'd like for us to call this meeting to order. I'd like to stand to, no? Yes.
That's the speaker. He's getting ready to come up.
We'll wait till we give you time so that everyone can hear you.
Thank you. It is on. Thank you, Mayor. I motion to move out, make sure all the business is taken care of first, and I'm asking to put public comments at the end of the agenda. May I have a second, please? I just heard someone say that someone's about to come up.
Well, let me make sure I understand. You want to put the public comments at the end?
Correct.
Okay, so,
Past executive sessions and all that.
After executive session, which would be number 6, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second? Are there any objections?
I have no objections, but the public comment is pretty much everything already, other than our comment. We're not going to executive session, right?
Please.
To the trustees' pleasure? Yeah. Yes. Okay, before adjournment? Okay. If that's your pleasure, I have no objection, because we're not going into executive session.
Okay. All right, so first item on first we have roll call. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Burns? Trustee Carter? Trustee Coleman? Trustee Johnson? Trustee Sapp? And trustee Williams. Here. And may I just take the liberties of officially welcoming back trustee Sapp, who's been away from us for a couple of months. And it's good to see her wellness and that she's back amongst us. Praise God.
Praise God indeed. All right. Okay, we're going to be brief as possible, I believe, tonight. Item number 2, discussions and presentations. We will hear from Rich Day, VP of Old National Bank.
Everybody hear me okay?
Good? Yes. Okay. Yes, let me give it to you. That's it. There you go. Got enough? One more? Yeah, okay. Well, good evening, trustees. Rich Day, Old National Bank. I'm here tonight to talk about a maturing CD that you have due. I've met with some of your folks last week in discussing what our options are. I've recently taken over managing your guys' relationship, so this came on my radar as far as the maturity of your CD. So I wanted to come out and explain some of the options are for CDs and terms and what the rates are for you to have a further discussion and then follow back with us on what course of action you'd like for us to take. So this is the communication piece that I put together for staff last week. And so just to go over this, the CD just matured on the 14th, so we have a grace period of 7 days to make changes. And so your last term was for a 1-year CD, and the interest was 0.46%. And over the last 12 months, the revenue that was generated was $3,789.01. Okay? Yes, that is correct. The maturity amount today or this week is $826,071.36. Now, I'm not sure what has happened in the past. If CDs can tend to roll if folks ignore notification that came out from the bank and missed the window. So that could have happened because that's kind of a low rate in this environment. So when I saw that and saw your CD come due, I wanted to make sure I got in front of you folks to get you earning more interest and be aware of what the market conditions are so that this doesn't happen again. And obviously there should be some notification coming to the office about 2 weeks before the maturity. So it could have been missed, but so what I wanted to point out tonight is a few options. So I've listed here CD terms of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and what those rates are. And then the interest income that would be earned for those terms is off to the right. Part of our discussion was what's the current money market rate as well for just liquidity purposes instead of going CD. That rate's listed there as well. That's 3.50. And then I wanted to make mention that you do have a line of credit and there's a hold on $500,000 on the CD for that line of credit. I did see that as well. So just as an FYI. But if you take a look at these terms with this rate environment, my suggestion would be to go as long as you can, 12 months, and take advantage of that rate. The speculation in the market is that the Fed is going to cut rates. The forecast was 3 rate cuts this year. they're kind of waffling on that a little bit now, and it could be 2 cuts, it could be 1, but they're trying to look at inflation to hit their target mark before they start doing that. So, you know, even though the rates are a little bit higher in the short term, I would lock something up longer term, 12 months, take advantage of that rate structure, and then we'll see where the market is after a year, and then make a decision going forward. But that way it gets you, it's a pretty significant increase in interest income for you guys, so that's good. And, you know, you can, you know, based on cash flow and what you have going on, you guys can add to this when we renew it. You can take money out. I don't know your cash flow, but, you know, there's options. I just need somebody to follow up with me at my office and let me know which direction we're going to take, and then we would get new account documentation done, get the appropriate signatures, and then we'll be all said and done. Any
Mayor?
questions that you may have?
Yes, so the 12-month right here, which is 4.6% interest, so by the end of the 12 months, this is the interest we should have gained.
Yes.
What about the money market, 3.50?
Well, with that, you know, you're going to earn less, okay? And that rate can change at any point. So market, I mean, it could change weekly. I mean, if the market changed that quick, the bank is going to adjust that rate.
Okay,
So you're at the risk.
the money market. I just want to make sure.
Yep.
If the 4.60, once we lock that in, that is it, no matter what the market is.
That's correct, yeah.
And even if the Feds change it, we still lock it in.
You're 12 months, you get that rate no matter what. Absolutely, yeah. And I think even, you know, if we take a look and speculate over 12 months and, you know, a couple of those rate cuts happen, rates are still going to be pretty good in a year from now. So, you know, it's not going to drop down back to 46 basis points that you've seen here on the sheet. So your income on this amount, as long as you stay with that dollar amount or add to it, you're going to make some pretty good interest over a year's period of time.
So I have a
Trustee.
question. Yes.
You have one question.
So my question is, we, over a 12-month period, we only gained $3,789.01 on $800,000.
Yep.
And at any moment, once we lock this rate in, of course, we cannot change it or anything like that.
That's correct.
So when we did this 12 months ago, it was only at a 0.46 interest rate. That's what the interest rates were then?
No.
So do you know why we
What
did?
happens is, depending on there might have been a CD special at the time for a year, okay? So when specials happen in the banking world, let's say it's 3% for 12 months. Once that special's over, CDs drop down to whatever the base rate is for that product. So if it's not attended to within that 7-day window, then it defaults back to what the minimum rate is.
And so basically you're saying no one from our finance department called to correct this, and that's why we've only received.
That's all I can
$30,000?
assume, because I wasn't.
So we lost $30,000 at least by someone not checking on it, so we
That's a
lost about.
possibility, yes.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Trustee Williams.
What I'd like to see, first of all, thank you for bringing this to our attention today. What I would like to see is a report from the last 12 months where we could actually see where we started and how things went up or down incrementally for the last 12 months. Can we get that?
Well, it was a 12-month CD, so you were locked in at that 46.
Okay, we were locked in at, and when we first took it out, we were locked in at 0.46
A year ago.
a year ago, because you said there could have been a reason why maybe somebody didn't follow up,
Yeah.
and it could have been higher, and we could have gone lower because there was no follow-up.
Yeah, and
Is that true?
the further we go back and research that, rates were lower too at that point also. So they started to come up over the last couple of years, okay?
Okay,
So depending, you know, I mean, I don't know what happened 2 years ago.
right.
You know, what was going on. I mean, I can get you facts of where things were at, but I don't know if there was specials at that time. I don't know what the missed opportunity would have been.
It just seems like a huge disparity.
Sure,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, there's got to be some type of explanation. Did we in fact lose $30,000? Is it because it was only .46 and now it's 4.60? I mean, we're looking at this and it's a little mind-boggling.
Oh, of
So
course.
if you could provide a report for us, that would really be great.
But all I can tell you is that it just rolled over.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
I understand. That could be the reason.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, maybe it was 4.0. I don't know. That's why we'd like to see the report so we can justify that. Okay?
sure.
And second of all, the line of credit referred to the $500,000, that's on hold for the collateral?
Yes.
It has not been used, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
That's
that's
just
still
cash
at
collateral.
$500,000 to
Yep.
be used if needed, and that's why the collateral is.
Well, your line of credit is, yeah, exactly. It's
But
cash
we have
collateral.
not used the
No.
500,000.
No.
I want to make that clear.
Yes,
Okay, but it's there just in case we do use it.
yes.
Then it's going to be taken from there.
You're correct.
Okay,
You're
that's all I have.
Okay, are there any more questions?
One more question.
Trustee,
Can we
Burns.
borrow against that
Yes.
bond? So.
You have an existing line of credit up to 500,000.
And so, right, so we have $500,000 right now. Has it been used
No.
or borrowed against at any
It's just
point?
out there for basically a safety net if you guys get in a pinch financially and need access to that cash, it's there for you.
Madam Clerk?
Mayor Pro Tem, I just need to provide just a little level of greater clarity. We've had the line of credit now for a number of years. About 3 years ago, we did borrow some funds from the line of credit. However, those funds were paid back at the appropriate time.
Are there any more questions, comments? Okay, thank you, Mr. Gray, is it? Day, yeah.
Yeah,
Rich Day,
sure.
sorry.
I'll look forward for a future communication and we'll get things started for you guys. Great, thank you for having me.
When is the absolute deadline that we have to complete all of the paperwork for you,
That would
for
be,
your bank?
that would be Tuesday of next week.
Okay.
You're welcome.
And the paperwork that you're expecting, what does that entail?
That's just basically a signature card for the new certificate. So we'll have whoever has signing authority, the paperwork will have the terms and conditions, the rate. We'll just need signatures on that to put it on file, and then it's operational.
So, this really does not need to come before the board for a vote. It's simply just as we did with the signature cards for the bank account and all of our other accounts, but no other actions are needed at this moment.
Excuse me, Mayor, ma'am. Mr. Day, you have the signature card right now, correct?
That has to be prepared, because I need to know what the selection is going to be,
Oh.
and then we'll put the paperwork together and have that sent on.
So we didn't have, we had signers before, you have to re-sign every year?
Yes, absolutely, yes. Because the terms and conditions change when you select the CD that you're going to go with. Yeah.
And Madam Clerk, we still have our two-signature policy? Three signatures.
There are 3 signatures on all of our accounts. That is Mayor Derek Burgess, the Treasurer Louis Wiggins, and myself. That's on all of the accounts that we have with Old National. So there is no change. As I said, there's no need to come before the board for any action at all, because there are absolutely no changes. The only thing that you would want to do is to communicate with the village administrator to let him know if your options are the 3rd, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months, and he will communicate with the bank to let them know, and so I guess we can get that ball rolling as soon as possible.
Okay, and one more question, clerk.
Sure.
No business or checks moved without all three signatures. Was there,
No, that is not correct. On checks, you only require 2 signatures. Customarily, those signatures are Mayor Burgess and myself. Our treasurer has not signed a check in I don't know how long. I would say since I've been village clerk, which is 2017. However, keep in mind the signature cards that Mr. Day is talking about is not associated with the check at this point. It's not associated with the check. It's the signature cards in case we needed to borrow from the CD or we wanted something from the CD. If that's the case, that would then definitely have to come before the board for board approval.
thank you, Madam.
So, Madam Clerk, you're saying two signatures are required, but you have 3. We have 3. Okay.
And you guys decided on that, I would say about 4. You all decided on that 4 to 6 months ago when we went back and forth with who would have signatory and, I'm sorry? There's usually, the treasurer is there, it is a signature. We went with 2 signatures for a very, very, very long time, simply because the treasurer that we had before also had another position. Now that we have separation of duties, it's gone back to what the process was, I know when I came in 2017. The reason why you would want a third party, heaven forbid if anything was to happen to your 2 signatories. And then what would that do for your accounts payable and everything that's needed? So it's a wise decision.
Okay, are there any more questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Day.
Yeah, thank you for your time, and look forward to hearing from you and working with you guys as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, next on the agenda, we have trustee Aretha Burns with surety bond updates.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Again, welcome back, Trustee Sapp. So good to be sitting next to you, girl. Okay, so I wanted to bring back to the table the bond requirement. The municipal code, Illinois Municipal Code, as well as our own village code, does state that our treasurer, the treasurer and our village administrator must have a surety bond. We did speak of this quite a few times already, and several months ago, that we have asked for the surety bond to be presented from the treasurer. That is an officer position and is absolutely mandated by the state code and the village code. As of today, we still have not received the surety bond. Now, the surety bond is a requirement for any appointed positions, and the treasurer is an officer and it is an appointed position. We need to find out why thus far the treasurer has not presented us with a surety bond, and it's been, I think, if I'm not mistaken, over 3 months now. And technically, the treasurer is not even supposed to start duties here in the village hall without coming forth to present the surety bond upon his hire. We also, from my understanding, we do have a new village administrator, Mr. Kenneth Johnson. That is the young man sitting in the front with the cap on. Mr. Johnson is the new VA, and he also is required to have an surety bond. So again, we want to make it very clear, I as one of the trustees is following the municipal code of the village and the state of Illinois. And we are going to move to dismiss the treasurer if a surety bond has not been produced, because that is our code to do so. And we will take these codes very seriously, because the surety bond, and I want to make it clear for everyone, the surety bond is a unique and specific insurance that everyone in our finance department, from the VA to the director of finance, the front office, the mayor, these people have direct access to our finances by the millions and millions of dollars. We have had theft of $10,000 just in the year of 2022, $10,000 theft that we could not recover because the finance director and people in that area does not have a surety bonds. Had they had the surety bond, we would have been able to recover the people's money of $10,000. Right now, Mayor Burgess is saying that there's a $78,000 theft from a former employee. Again, that former employee was in possession and is in possession of an surety bond. That surety bond, we are asking the mayor to file a claim with that former employees against their bond. Because then we, as the people, again can recover the $78,000 of the taxpayers of the Village of Sauk Village's money. That is the purpose of a surety bonds. If anyone displays misconduct, if anyone steals our money, if anyone misappropriates our money, as long as they are bonded, and we don't want to have to mess with our insurance or take out any type of insurance against the village's insurance. That is why the village will pay for each financial person to have their own surety bond. It is for our protections as villagers and as taxpayers of this village to be protected against those who are handling our tax-paying dollars on a daily basis. It is imperative, and that is the reason we are going to take it very seriously, that if people do not get this surety bond, you will have to step down and you will have to be removed, because that is serious not to be insured specifically when it comes down to handling millions and millions of taxpayer dollars for the Village of Sauk Village. So I wanted to make sure that we spoke that again. I will be following up with the attorney. The attorney has written us a letter. After tonight, I will be following up very closely with the attorney and get any type of paperwork and any assistance that we need to remove anyone who will not or refuse to produce their surety bond. This is something that we will do because we have been asking and we have been patiently waiting for over 3 months. Let me see what else we have here. So that's it for the surety bond update. There will be an ordinance coming out. We are asking and requesting that all people and personnel within the finance department obtain that bond. That now includes the front desk personnel, because they're handling money, cash money, on a daily basis. They too will need to have a surety bonds. Anyone in that finance area, from the finance director, everyone in that area has to have a surety bond. The mayor, and so does the VA and the treasurer. So the attorney will be drafting that, because it's too much theft that has been going on in our village. And we have not been able to recover our tax-paying dollars because these people do not have bonds. And our mayor has not enforced it, so the Board of Trustees must. Thank you.
Are there any questions or statements? Madam Clerk?
This was something that I just received out of my mailbox, and so it was the last minute, but I will make sure that it was.
Okay, again, are there any more questions or statements by the board? Okay, moving right along. Okay, the next thing is Comments from trustees and mayors? And Mayor? Start with trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Good evening, everyone. Just want to say the Sauk Talk is complete. I'm looking to find out how we will be posting it on the website, because we have new IT people, new website people, but it should be on the website hopefully by the end of the week. Copies will be placed in the vestibule probably tomorrow. And also, I'd like to say safe travel to Mayor Burgess and anyone else who's traveling in this weather. That sounds like it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm sure, Mayor Clerk, did you put these up? I highly recommend that all the residents of Sauk Village and all the staff and the board members tune into this Zoom meeting tomorrow night. It's from 7 to 8. This is regarding the Restorative Justice Community Court. It's an informational forum, and this is the court that's coming to Sauk Village if it hasn't already started. It was supposed to start sometime beginning of April. But I think it would give a lot more clarity to people who don't have a full understanding of what's going to happen at this Restorative Justice Court. So I'm looking forward to the Zoom meeting tomorrow. And if you could please share the information with as many people as possible, that would be great. And that's all I have. Thank you very much, and everybody be safe in this weather.
Trustee Burns.
Thank you. At this time, I do not have a report. I am working on some things, and I need to get further information before I give my complete report. Thank you.
You asked me if I passed, we come back to you. Is that what you asked? Trustee Sapp, again, welcome back, Trustee Sapp.
Good evening, everyone, and I want to thank you all. I'm so thrilled to be back in my seat. I feel like I've been there for quite a while, and quite a few things have changed since my absence. You can't hear me? No, sorry. So something is on change. So my committee has been inactive for the last 3 months because I have not, or I was not well. Now I'm back. And I will have a new committee calendar for you in our next meeting. And that concludes my time.
Trustee Carter. Trustee Johnson. Okay. Trustee Burns.
I'm sorry. I have to work tonight. I'm going to ask to be excused.
Excuse.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Let the record reflect that she has to be excused. Okay, we're gonna make this brief. No comments. Moving right along. Is there an executive closed session? No? No motion for executive closed session. Okay. Now we will have public comments. All questions and comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on any matter concerning the business of the Sauk Village municipality. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak for up to 3 minutes and may not engage in debate, counter replies, or rebuttals. Mayor Burgess will respond to questions. Well, let me just say, Mayor Burgess, by him not being here, there will be no response. But I will take notes. And it will be a matter of record, the public comments.
Good evening, Reverend Donna here. 3 things real quick, and I know you cannot answer, but I would like an answer at some point. One, what are the business acumens of this board? I have heard ongoingly threats to fire people. I have heard We had a wonderful administrator some time ago, no disrespect to the current one. I'm sure he will do an excellent job. But that administrator who knew his job only had he didn't have a college education in his sport, but he knew what he was doing. And as I listen, I hold a master's degree, I hold business, and when I listen to some of the questions that are posed to this board, I mean, it amazes me, the lack of business acumen. And so I am just curious, is there a dossier, and is everyone degreed, has business backgrounds? And is everyone, I mean, when I worked for the federal government, you could not have, this is not pointing fingers, this is just saying your own personal house had to be in order. Meaning before you could handle the government finances, as one of the trustees says, this is millions of dollars. You could not have several bankruptcies. You could not have liens against your property. Your stuff had to be in order. And so I'm just asking, what are the business acumens? Next, and that's no disrespect to anybody, it's not being handled. It's from a business standpoint, this is astounding to me. The next question, and this is a suggestion, because obviously some of our trustees are not familiar with CDs by the questions that have been asked, along with 501c3s and other things, but constantly saying that they are responsible for the finances. And we have several lawsuits. We have not paid people who have worked their jobs. And so, and so in that process, the business acumens are actually falling apart, and we need to stop blaming this mayor for that, because he doesn't handle that part of the vote. The other thing is, as you're looking at CDs, this is just from a standpoint, I think he said for 1 year is 4.6. If you check at U.S. Bank right now, they have, I think it is for 7 months, almost 5. So before you go on Tuesday, since people like to do research, there are a lot of CDs that are out there. Some of them have lower rates. And just to let you know, once a CD matures, if it has not been followed up on, and God knows, I think we fired the person that did that. We always fire them, folks. We know what they're doing. But anyway, if somebody checks, we will find that there are banks that do that. And again, if I can have a dossier of people's background, since we're firing people, I would like to have that. God bless you.
I am Francine Anderson, and of course, I have comments. I have no questions that you will need to forward to the mayor. My comments have to do with today's agenda. Trustee Burns reported, and I'm sorry she left the room, but you guys she can see the tape or whatever's necessary, that she was going to insist that anyone that did not have a surety bond be fired. So, to make sure that I clearly understand this, because y'all as a board kind of put out one thing and then do something different. Just like last week, when we had the man here talking about the development, and all you had to do was forward it to the zoning, and all y'all said no, so we still on hold with that. But, let's just be clear. A standard surety bond does not protect your assets from liability due to a dishonest act caused by an employee. So, just because you have a surety don't mean you're going to get some money back. But maybe your lawyer is putting that in your head so he can continue to get paid. Ching, 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 ching. Because, again, we still have two sets of lawyers. You got your legislator, and we got the general public or the general village lawyers. So I don't know if y'all gonna pay both of them, or you just gonna pay one of them to decide whether people who don't have surety bonds is gonna be fired. And I don't even know how you're gonna justify that, because in general knowledge, not just under the municipal code or under the Salt Village Code, it can't be done. Simple. Maybe your lawyer can word it so you can do it, because he's good at wording things the way you want it worded. But just because you want it worded that way doesn't mean that it's correct or right. But we know that this board doesn't always do what is correct and what is right. So in my last particular minute, I would like to say to this board, if you're going to continue to be unsure, make demands, then I hope that you will be very clear about what you're saying to the public are your reasons. Because everything you said to me is hogwash. It is not being clear. It is unsaid. It is unreasonable. And I'll end by saying, welcome back, Trustee Sapp.
Any more comments? Questions, comments?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Henrietta Davis. I just want to say, I thank the trustees for doing what you're doing. And whatever you, keep doing what you're doing, because it's working. All right? Keep on doing it. You guys are doing a great job.
David Smith, resident. Couple of quick things. I just want to clear something up on the insurance rates. I just did a quick Google search. The average insurance rate on a year-long CD hasn't been over 1% since 2019. So before you guys just get to running and telling people, oh, somebody in finance should have checked, or the mayor did this, or should have did that, the interest rates haven't been that high in a long time, and that was due to the pandemic. They were at an all-time low, and they actually didn't go back up until June of 2023, which is more than a year ago. So just to let you know before we start floating bad rumors around. Now, my question for tonight is, what happened to the money from Trustee Aretha Burns? This is a shame she's not here because I know she likes to respond to my comments. What happened to the money from her finance seminar? Where did it go? Number one, I'm under the assumption it's an ethics violation to capitalize financially off of your position as a trustee. So either she committed an ethics violation or where's the money? Because it should have never happened in the first place. I don't understand why you guys constantly overlook every time some money goes missing whenever she throws something. She sat here 2 weeks ago and told us she hasn't had a committee meeting since last year. So no meetings. How the hell is she planning something like this? How? And with who? And again, to piggyback off of what some of the other citizens and residents said, where's her expertise at? What degree does she have to be giving any of our residents financial information? Who is she to be telling us what we should be doing with our finances? When clearly, she doesn't even have basic financial concepts that she can comprehend. It doesn't make any sense. So my question, and I'll be back next week for an answer, what happened to the money? Do we need to forward this to someone else to make them find out? Since we're tracing the money, let's trace all of it, not just some of it when it's convenient. That's it, that's all.
Any more questions or statements? Okay, well, the residents have been heard. And with that being said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. It has been moved by Trustee Williams and seconded by Trustee Sapp. Again, welcome back. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
You did. Good.